Hi, I'm Dr. Brian Thornburg. I'm going to review another delayed vaccine schedule per the CDC. I want to make it clear that if you do the delayed vaccine schedule per the CDC and you meet those requirements, that is an equally effective and accepted vaccine card as if you fully vaccinated your child on schedule. It is just another way to look at the vaccine schedule in a totally legit kind of way, even though I believe the whole vaccine schedule is rigged. And the reason I say that is because other countries have other vaccine schedules. So obviously there's not one right vaccine schedule because we don't have vaccine preventable diseases blowing up all over the world because other people do things differently. HIB, Haemophilus influenza type B. This is for meningitis. The incidence of Haemophilus influenza type B is about 1 to 1.5 million children to 1 to 2 million children incidence. So this vaccine is typically given at 2, 4, 6, and 15 months old. So there's 4 shots in the regular CDC vaccine schedule. However, if you don't give the 2, 4, or 6 month shots and give the very first HIB vaccine at 15 months old, then that's the only vaccine that they need, and they're considered current, and they can go to school, they can go to daycare with that one shot. And as I mentioned, the benefit to doing that is we have almost fully functional kidneys. The liver is fully mature. The blood-brain barrier is more intact, although there is some argument that that doesn't fully intact until 2 to 3 years old. And the immune system is more mature than 2, 4, and 6 months. However, also you could argue that the immune system isn't fully matured until 2 to 3 years old. The argument there is that we see this in febrile seizures. There's a hyperactivity that occurs starting about 15 months until somewhere between 2 to 3 years old. With febrile seizures, with an increased temperature, the child can go into a seizure, and then that passes after that hyperexcitability and immune system calms down. So we don't see an increase in seizures starting at 4 years old. And I only say that just to note that there is still a little possibility of the body not being fully ready to accept the vaccine at 15 months. But if we're just playing the CDC game and we just want to check that box so we can get our kid into school, perhaps that you're in a state that does not allow a philosophical or religious exemption and you can't get your hands on a medical exemption, that is the best way to go. But being very clear and to make sure that all the data is on the table. If you're not given the vaccine at 2, 4, and 6 months old and wait until 15 months old, that means that your child does not have theoretical protection against the vaccine until 15 months old. And in our country, again, we start vaccinating for this particular vaccine at 2 months old, and your child was to contract the HIB and get meningitis, you're not going to find that much sympathy if you're doing something countercultural. Although I think that landscape's changing a little bit here with we have the right people at the CDC and HHS to start to shed light on what has actually been a crime against humanity for the last 40 years. Hopefully you can take some information from this, start to look this in a different way. There are different ways of doing this. Again, just look around the world. Thanks a lot for watching.